the committee to all of us and say that Gariki branch has a robust and active medical and health law committee with a mandate that includes but not limited to capacity building of branch members primarily in area of medical law. However, the committee decided to expand that knowledge sharing session to reach out to other lawyers, every lawyer within Nigeria who will be interested in gaining knowledge in this specialized area of law. Over time, we have had previous webinars. We have discussed the practice and procedure before the Medical and Dental Council Disciplinary Tribunal. We have also discussed medical negligence litigation. We have discussed the Compulsory Care and Treatment of Gunshot Victims Act 2017, its implementation in Nigeria. We have also, in the time past, discussed the consent to medical procedure in Nigeria and its applicability. So today we will be discussing career prospects in medical law practice. I will implore you to call your friends who are yet to join us. From our back-end records, we have over 160 persons who have registered. I am aware that there is also a YouTube link. So let me do a safe assumption that some persons are on the YouTube link, even though it is costly, an assumption to make. So I am seeing only 25 participants here, believing that we have other participants on the Zoom link, on the YouTube link rather. Today we have an expert in the field, someone who has many years of practical experience in medical law practice. One thing about our webinars is that we feature people who are in the field, who have their sleeves folded doing the work, not theoretical knowledge from medical law textbooks. So today we have one of such persons, and in a few minutes' time, we will be introducing our guest speaker. So while we wait, what's the time? This is 11:25 by my time. So by exactly 11:30, we will commence. So in the interim, help us introduce yourself on the platform and let us know where you are joining us from. You're on, okay, I can see Catherine James from Mina branch. I can also see Tari. Okay, Tari, welcome. Glad to have you here. Tari from Yenegua branch. I can see Pascal Chima, Ojinaka, or Ikeja branch, awesome. So keep the introductions coming. Beyond the introduction, this also affords us opportunity to network. Thank you very much. I have here on the platform Dr. Dale Ogumbayo. Thank you, sir, for attending. We have Gladys Chibuzo. Hannah Umaru is one of our committee members, an active member for that matter. Thank you, Hannah. You're on the call. I have my sister, Margaret Odimba. Thank you, Margaret, for making it. Nelson Sulola. Thank you. We have Praise Amadi. Prince Charles Ekwebelum Ruth is a member of this committee, and she's doing a good job. Ugonna Koronye, thank you. Chisom. We have Stephanie Elaumo. I hope I got the name correctly. Chisom Wonu and Thomas Okaba. I hope I also got the pronunciation well. My good brother Nayo is always a participant in this webinar. Yo, it's good to have you on board today. Welcome. It will amaze you where Anayo is joining us from. I wouldn't want to disclose that, but he always participates in every of our webinar that comes to his knowledge. So we have about 2 minutes to kickstart the training for today. Okay, we have 29 persons on call. For those of you who just joined us, this is Gariki, the Medical and Health Law Committee of Gariki branch of the MBA. Today, we are having a webinar on career prospects in medical law practice. I believe all of us here are thirsty for knowledge, and I want to assure you that in no time, that thirst will be satisfactorily quenched because our facilitator is able and capable to deliver on this subject matter. We are having a back-end little challenge with the facilitator. He's trying to join. So as soon as he joins, we will kickstart the training. In the interim, kindly utilize the chat box to introduce yourself. Tell us where you are joining us from and your expectation for this webinar today. Your expectation from this webinar today. Fola Adebayo Esquire is joining from Abuja. Thank you, Fola. Hannah, thank you for the greeting. Anayo, thank you. So we have more than 25 persons on call so far. However, on the chat box, we are having about 5 or 6 introductions. Kindly introduce yourself here. Awesome. Tari is my person from Gypsy. Tari, welcome. Tari is, how do I put it now? Yeah, she is in the field far away in Yenegua doing medical law business, and she is here to further build her capacity in that area. Tari, welcome once more.
Hello, Barrister Ebenezer. I am sure I saw our facilitator join the call. So, yeah, I'm trying to confirm if you're still here. Uh,
Hello.
so can
Okay.
you confirm?
Our speaker is here. Without wasting further time, let me go straight into the business by introducing our facilitator. Dami, can you make our facilitator a co-host, please? Mr. Laolu.
Yes, I'll do that. You can just comment to the introductions. I'll make you a post.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, good morning, gentlemen. Welcome to today's webinar. My name is Ebenezer Iguatu, and as you already know, this is the Medical and Health Law Committee of Garki branch of the MBA's webinar on career prospects in medical law practice. Today, we have an expert in the field who will be sharing knowledge in this area with us. Otumba Laolu A. Osayin LLM MCLM CHP is an internationally renowned medical legal consultant and the vice president of the World Association for Medical Law. Otumba Laolu currently serves as the first and the only African on the board of governors of World Association for Medical Law. He is a member of the African College of Legal Medicine. He was appointed by the former Honorable Minister of Health, Professor Isaac Adewale, to serve on the board of Nigeria National Health Research Ethics Committee. And until recently, he served on the Ethics Committee of the American College of Legal Medicine. Otumba Osin is chair, Committee on Medicine and the Law of the Nigerian Bar Association session on legal practice, of which he is also the General Secretary. Otumba Laolu heads the Medical Legal Department of Medical Tutors Limited, which is accredited by the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria and the Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria as a continuous professional development provider, CPD. He lectures at the University of Medical Sciences, Ondo State, where he is part of the team that pioneered the MSc in Health Law and Policy program at the institution. He is the founder and convener of the Nigeria Medical Law Summit. Otumba Laolu is the senior partner of First Counsel Solicitors, a medical legal consultancy firm. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me today as we welcome our facilitator for the day. Thank you, sir. You have the floor, sir. Can I see your welcome applause on the chat box? Please show excitement, show expectation. Thank you, sir. You have the floor.
Good morning. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, loud and clear, sir.
All right, so I'm trying to share my slides. All right, yeah, so basically I've been asked to speak on opportunities in the practice of medical law in Nigeria. This particular topic, I've actually delivered it at, I think it was the Port Harcourt branch of the NBA some years ago. I want us to, first of all, I want us to, as lawyers, we need to unlearn certain things that over the years we have learned to be the norm. And there's a friend of mine called Bennett Omalu, who is a Nigerian based in America. He developed a concept called the need to fight conformational intelligence, which essentially is that, particularly professionals, essentially is that we stay slavishly to precedents and what has been done in the past. So in the case of lawyers, for example, most of us go to law school, come back. We have been seeing things being done in a particular way, and we follow that bandwagon and do things that particular way as well. So you ask a question, why are lawyers in white and black all the time? Why do I have to go to law school, come back, and I have to wear my wig and gown? Why do I have to do the regular legal practice that most people do? Why do I have to, majority of lawyers do the same thing? Most of us don't do other things that is still legal within still the legal ecosystem, but rather we continue to do the same thing that we met on ground, and then we find out that we are not actually upscaling. We are not actually doing novel things. So, for example, construction law. Every day in Nigeria, every hour in this country, people are engrossing agreements between the quantity surveyor and the architect, for example. And I doubt if all those agreements are being engrossed by lawyers. We find out that there are various areas of practices where lawyers are found totally wanting there, but meanwhile our services are needed. But what has happened over the year is that we all saturate or tend to want to saturate within the same line of practice. So it is with medical law, for example, where probably on a street there are 4 hospitals. People are dying every day. People are receiving treatments every day. We find out that Nigerian lawyers, basically African lawyers in general, are quite found wanting. We find out a lot of times that there are areas in which where they need our services, but as lawyers, we can't provide it because kings talk to kings. So you find out that the average lawyer who works in a hospital setup will only be used as HR manager or used as general manager, or by be looking into things like their landed properties and things like that. But what happens when a scapula is left in the stomach of a patient? He might not be able to convince to interject or to contribute to it because he has not developed his capacity in medical legal practice. So you find out that our services are needed, but they are lacking. And so my job here today is just to let you all see the opportunities that are bound. Opportunities are there, but for you to be able to take use of the opportunities, you have to have developed capacity in the area of discipline. Like I said earlier, kings talk to kings. So before you can get the attention of practitioners in this ecosystem, you must have developed yourself. It is not an area of practice that just any general legal practitioner can dabble into. You will find out that most of the times you actually run the possibility of even complicating things for your client. So how do you develop capacity? Is by professional development, masters, what diploma courses. And I make bold to say that the more international these courses are, the more expensive, at the same time, too, the more value adding they are. So I'm on the board of governors of the World Association for Medical Law. Currently the first and only African on that board. That is the current, but this is board of last year. But be it as it may, board of this year is as well, I'm still the only black man there. So you find out that there is a lot of gap. There's a lot of skill gap required on the African continent. But now, if it's an African continent, automatically it means that, Nigeria has to take the lead. Now, how do lawyers leverage? What do you do? So what makes you unique as a medical legal consultant? What makes you unique as a medical lawyer, like some people like to call us, is that one of the unique things is that unlike general legal practice, where clients might want to incorporate a company and you bill him a certain fee, he can walk out of your office, cross the road, and get it done for probably even lesser than what he intended to pay you. In medical laws, it can be called lucrative because it's a bit special, it's extremely specialized. So you do not particularly have competitors. And because kings talk to kings, most of the time you find out that practitioners who are in need of your services, all they need to do is to find out from those who know who can handle these services for them. So 70% of modesty, people like us who are, so to say, second generation pioneers of medical law practice in Nigeria. After that, a few medical practitioners who also read law. I remember there is a Major Dr. Isuagu. There's also a Dr. Shoba who, they practice medicine and then they read law at some point in time. Now, after that, I think we came in immediately after Adeola Kazeem, because I think I succeeded him as chairperson of the Committee on Medicine and Law of Section on Legal Practice. So one of the advantages you have there is that, well, most of the times it is you they call because you are not too many in that ecosystem. And it has been, one has been there for quite a while. So with every set of models, one is like a point of reference in certain instances. So what can you do as a lawyer who wants to explore the opportunities in medical law? I will elucidate. We can work for government or in the public sector. You can work as you can consult for members of committees relating to health-related issues. I remember I consulted for Edo State when they wanted to do their health insurance scheme, the first time of the current governor. I remember I was part of those who practically wrote the law on assisted conception in Lagos. I remember we consulted the government as well on surrogacy. I remember we're part of those that did the draft bill on cosmetic surgery in Nigeria. So, and then again, there are lots of state governments that also want to do health reforms and things like that. So now the only way you can be relevant in this instance is if you have shown capacity, if you have developed yourself in that area, then you may be able, then government may be able, like in this instance, now be able to use your skill and your knowledge, with respect to providing services for them. So, for example, if you do not have concepts, if you don't have knowledge, basic knowledge in these areas, you might not be able, in effect, to provide services. Now, that is only legislature. When you now look at the executive, opportunities are bound there. But all hospital boards, federal or state, most of them, all of them are required to have lawyers. Most of the times, the lawyers, our colleagues that are there, only serve in the capacity as stenographers or secretaries. And then maybe they do land transactions for them and they do some other schemes, but have the capacity. So that is where you, as a lawyer, can strengthen yourself. You can also work as in-house counsel to health regulatory agencies or parastatals. So we have regulatory agencies, Medical and Dental Council, for example, require tons of lawyers. Very few people can apply for the jobs. There are opportunities there because very few people are exposed to medical laws. Federal Consumer Protection Council, even state hospital boards, things like that. So once we have executive committees for law reviews, health research, policy formulation, lawyers are needed there. Lagos State, for example, did the health sector reforms law recently. Lawyers are needed there. I used to serve on the National Health Research Ethics Committee, where you can actually put ethical guidelines on research. Lawyers are needed there. But you find out that the lawyers who are there are not even able to provide value because they haven't developed capacity in medical laws. You can ask for as prosecutor at the medical tribunal, or you can serve as defense counsel in health-related matters. That is where most of our colleagues go to. And I will speak to that as well at a point when it gets to litigation. Maybe I should just address it now. Litigation, as well, we found out that now our colleagues at times take the regular eye of the average litigant to handle medical legal cases. That is the first undoing they have. And I tell you why. Medical negligent cases in particular, you cannot equate it like election petitions tribunal. Neither can you equate it to chieftaincy. Neither can you equate it to landlord-tenant or two fighting or whatever. Medical law cases are extremely different. And when you take the eye of the average Nigerian litigation lawyer to handle malpractice cases, you will bungle the case, with all due respect. At the American College of Legal Medicine, where I trained, it is said that medical negligence cases should end at the doorstep into the courtroom. I say it again, medical negligence cases should end at the doorstep into the courtroom, which essentially means that it is only poorly managed medical negligence cases that should get to court, which essentially means that you must, as a matter of, emphasis, explore settlement. Now, at times, some cases are unsettleable, if there's any English like that, by virtue of the actions of counsels involved. And I'll share experience with you. A counsel who has been briefed on the death of a patient petitions Medical and Dental Council, Medical and Dental Investigation Panel, and the matter becomes subject of investigation. And I've handled several of such. And then maybe they find the prima facie case against the patient, against the doctor, and then they escalate the case to the tribunal. Then the lawyer now writes the counsel of the doctor and tells him that let us try and settle. Ladies and gentlemen, that kind of case can't be settled, because once a matter involving death, loss of organ, or deformity gets to the Medical and Dental Investigation Panel, even when you have paid the complainant 1 billion naira, you will not be able to withdraw the case. Why is this so? Because it is the chairman of Medical and Dental Council versus Dr. XYZ. So even when the complainant withdraws, the case goes on. So I keep asking my colleagues, why you so much, when you know that eventually you intend to get to explore settlement for your clients, why do you hastily approach the regulator? So that's why I say there's some matters that cannot be settled. Because even if the patient, even if the doctor gives you 10 billion naira, that the matter continues. Right? Another instance where our colleagues have made cases very difficult to conclude is the quantum of claim at times they ask for. So a patient dies, and then our colleagues will write to the 20 action notice claiming 10 billion naira, 5 billion, 2 billion for the death of a 75-year-old obese diabetic patient. So the next thing that comes up is that the doctor will just simply lawyer up. I said, where am I going to get that kind of money from? And where do you start negotiating from when the claim itself, ab initio, appears a bit unreasonable? I hope I'm making sense. So we find out that at times, there are some of these cases that the way we as lawyers have handled them, we have made it quite impossible for it to reach amicable solutions. Right. I would explore more to that, but at least just to let you know that you can actually earn a living by handling malpractice cases. But when you are handling malpractice cases, please know what the law says first. And then two, if you are exploring settlement, you understand my point. I've given you hints on how not to yourself drop the ball. The opportunities in training of public health workers, particularly with respect to their rights and responsibilities. The same thing with public teaching hospitals. We can always organize conferences where, unlike the recent years in medical practice, where you now have continuous medical education. In the medical sector, continuous legal education. In the medical sector, it is more serious. So the last time I checked, our bar practicing fees, as long as you pay before the expiration of the time, you are good to go. But in medical sector, it's not just payment. It's actually called. Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me? Hello? Can somebody, please, can you signal if you can hear me so I can proceed or not, please? Kelechukwu Aja, your hands are raised up. Okay, you're giving a thumbs up, so I guess I can proceed. All right then. Yeah, so you can actually work as a facilitator and teach. So I was talking about medical education. I work with medical tutors. And I head the medical legal department there. And medical tutors that they've had in 20 hours, they can renew their licenses. So you find out that they are more structured. So opportunities are bound. So what does that mean, doctors? And you can actually, charge for a fee, and then you can charge for a fee, and then they come and listen to you talk. So imagine you charging 100,000 naira and you have 50 doctors in your conference room, right? And you are giving them five CPT points. If you do that every other month, doctors. So you find out that you make some change, So, and aside from that, these doctors too are potential clients. So the moment you understand your capacity, then when issues happen, you are the go-to person. Now, another area where we find a paucity of our colleagues is in the state medical examiner's office. Forensics, pathology. Forensic, pathology. We're talking about investigation of death. Our lawyers, our colleagues are totally absent there. Ethical committees, where your services can be needed. For example, those who require kidney transplantation, those who require, when challenges occur in hospitals, like the Jehovah's Witness issue, how do you handle it? Our lawyers are needed in such committees. I am on several committees on ethics, particularly for hospitals that provide either transplantations or they provide assisted conception or surrogacy. Now, each of these committees, clearly, they are not for free. Membership of ethics committee on clinical trials. A lot of organizations are conducting researches, and then they need lawyers to ensure that whatever they are doing is within the boundaries of ethics and law. Opportunities are bound there. Medical research, state forensic teams, membership of investigative panels for hospitals. So, there is a problem in the hospital now. They're investigating if a nurse or a doctor is liable. They ask a lawyer to be there. A lawyer will naturally be there as secretary. But if the lawyer doesn't have ideas on legal and medical law issues, it's only going to be there as secretary to keep in records and act as a recorder, stenographer, basically. So that is the capacity. But before you can take advantage of all these things that I've listed here, you should be able to develop your capacity and interest in medical laws. Now, in judiciary as well, you find out that you act for several roles there, mediator, arbitrator. You can work with the coroner's office. I've had instances of even being trained to train judges, being paid to train judges, judicial workers. Because you find out as well that because of the growing trend of medical legal cases too, Nigerian judges too need to build their capacity. So everything we are talking about here is you must be able to grab opportunities. You must be able to invest in professional development for yourself. It is not cheap. I must assure you, it is not cheap, but at the same time, it pays itself. It's an investment that will pay its returns. You understand my point, you know? So just think about all the hospitals around your neighborhood. And think about the possibility of being retrained by half of them. Think about the number of cases you hear of medical negligence in Nigeria. Right? So there are opportunities, but you must invest, you must travel to. Was in the course of my study, I met Professor Thomas Noguchi. Thomas Noguchi was the person that did the autopsy of John Kennedy. He's the one that did the autopsy of Marilyn Monroe. He's called the Corona of the Stars. He's the #1 medical legal expert in the world. But it is your ability to invest. It's the ability to invest in further education that can only it is only ability to invest in professional professional education that can avail you the opportunities, particularly internationally as well. So it gives you opportunity of cross-fertilizing ideas. So even when you have cases here, we have reasons to work for hospitals here, because you are discussing with somebody in Venezuela, you're discussing with somebody in Peru, you're discussing with somebody in America or Australia. You are in a committee with people in America. You are talking to your friends in Manchester. You are comparing notes, basically. So basically, you become a repertoire of knowledge. You become a repository of knowledge, because people are looking at what the Federal High Court in Kogi said or whatever, you're giving them contemporary development, particularly for your jurisdiction here, which is a bit slow and backward. So when committees, when organizations or government what is not applicable in Nigeria applicable. Because I see somebody euthanize the
Oh, sorry, colleagues. It appears our host is having a bit of network challenge. So I'm sure it will definitely try to reconnect his audio again.
Yes, I went offline.
Okay, sir.
And I think I need to reshare my screen, right? All right, am I back on now? Am I back online? All right, so I'll continue. So yeah, I was talking about it. It is important for you to be able to invest your time, your energy. Please, can you make me co-host so that I can share my slides, please?
Oh, sorry, apologies, I just did that.
Yeah, so I was talking about the need for you to be able to sacrifice and invest. I've gone for training courses in Indonesia. I've gone for training courses severally in America, in the UK, in Paris, in Portugal, in Azerbaijan, in Israel, um, uh, in Cape Coast, Australia. Um, you know, where just the Peru, just the Vilnius in Lithuania, just the need for you to be able to hear people say what you don't know. I hope I'm making sense. So when I've had that and I've seen what has happened there, and then I'm supposed to consult for Nigeria, for my government here, or an agency of government here, or euthanasia, massive killing, for example, I can tell you confidently I've seen it happen real life at Dignitas in Belgium, where an 80-year-old woman whose son was a primary caregiver had developed Parkinson's. She went to the organization called Dignitas, explained to them that she's willing to die. She entered the room, they put some plugs on her. Her children were there, they were playing her best music. We were watching from another room with a live camera feeding us. And they gave her Quaker oats or conflicts or whatever. And she poured some poison basically there, added chocolate and milk, mixed it together. I started eating it, playing fantastic jazz music that she liked, and was eating gradually until she died, peacefully, basically. So in Nigeria, does that happen? No, but guess what? Somehow it does happen. In Nigeria, we don't have active euthanasia, but in Nigeria, you must respect the patient's right. So even when a patient tells you, don't give me blood, even if you as a doctor knows that this patient will die, you have to respect the patient's wishes. That's the case of Okonkwo, Supreme Court. So we find out that you must be able to see these things also internationally, and nationally. At times, there may not be legislations. Are there legislations on cosmetic surgeries? They are not. But you might be called as a medical legal expert to build a protocol on it. How do you build a protocol on it? It's not by going on Google. It is by your exposure. That by making sense. So you find out that a lot of our colleagues need as well to invest heavily. Luckily now, there are online courses and all that, that you can actually avail yourself with. Look at this. Look now, also in private sector too. Humongous opportunities have been retained by hospitals. Humongous opportunities by being retained by insurance companies who have to pay professional indemnity insurance for patients who have been poorly treated by clinicians. Pharmaceutical companies too require your services as a legal expert. Research centers, HMOs, diagnostic centers. Medical law firms represent clients in medical malpractice cases, alternative dispute resolution, license applications, credentialization, data protection. So we find out that opportunities are bound. We just need to seize those opportunities. I met this man, Professor Lashma Kama. I met him in California. Jackson. And he explained
Sorry, apologies, colleagues. It appears okay.
about Momo anyway. So I'll share my slides again. So I was talking about Lashma Kama, who did the
Hello,
autopsy of
sir.
Michael
Please, we
Jackson.
lost you from.
What did you say?
That took the autopsy of Michael Jackson, that conducted the autopsy
Yes.
of Michael Jackson. We lost you from that moment, sir.
Yes, so I'm saying that. So if I've been able to review the autopsy of Michael Jackson, for example, through my
Distinguished colleagues, please let us exercise little patience. It appears our facilitator is also having a network challenge. But in the interim, can we have your reaction to what you have heard so far on the comment session while we await his return to join us? Can we have your reaction in the interim while we await his comeback? Hello, can you hear me? Please confirm that you can hear me. Hello, can you hear me? Can anyone hear me, please? Wow, it seems I'm talking to myself. Can anybody hear me? Kindly confirm, please.
Yes, we can hear you.
Awesome. Thank you very much. So I am saying that it appears our facilitator has been logged out again by network. So while we await his comeback or return to join us and continue, let's have quick reactions from a few persons concerning what you have heard so far. Firstly, is the webinar, is it making sense to you? Particularly those who are coming across medical law for the first time. I want to believe there are some persons on the call who are coming in contact with medical law for the first time. Thank you for the feedback, Samuel. You can hear me. Yes, thank you, Patrick. You can hear me. Benjamin, you're welcome. So please, if there are persons who might want to say a few words concerning what we have heard so far, if it is making sense to you, or if there are steps you are going to take going forward, because the essence of this training is not just for people to come and sit down and listen and go home. We intend you to take action. While the facilitation is ongoing, we intend you to be having a personal meeting with yourself and noting actions you need to take going forward. We want to have as much people as possible come into the medical legal space to play, because opportunities abound. We are just scratching the back. We've not started. We are just scratching the surface. The medical law terrain in Nigeria is a gold mine. I can say it any day because it is developing here. So it is important that you jump in now, get your capacity built in this area, so that before others will start coming to get the environment saturated or to get the sector or subsector saturated, you would have made your mark and continue to make your impact. That's the essence of this training. It's not just to come and tell you opportunities abound and it ends there. We intend you to take action. So can I have reactions from persons? And if you are willing to speak,
anyone who wants to speak can raise their hand.
just
so I'll give
do
them
a raise of hand. If you want to speak, raise your hand and you'll be granted audience to speak. Thank you. I want to take your silence
our
to mean
facilitator
that
is
the
back.
training is boring to you. Okay, we have Taiwo. Oh, Tari, please, you have the mic. Kindly unmute Tari to speak.
Yes, the person can speak. She's on ear.
Tari, go ahead. You can speak.
Okay. Yeah, I'm really enjoying everything that is going on, and it's a great eye opener for me. I also noticed that what he said, it's really, really true. That's why I said I want to know more about it, because we were not trained in medical law when we came on board. It's just like just using our basic knowledge, and then the other areas they could place us in, just attending meetings, taking down notes, more or less like recorders. So this one is giving me more eye opener to know what to do in the future. Thank you.
Our facilitator is back. Sir, you may carry on, sir. Welcome back, sir. Dami, please.
Thank you. I don't know what happened to the network in my end here.
It is general network problem.
I'll continue to continue. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So I was just sharing my insights, for example, on the Michael Jackson autopsy. You understand my point? So if I've been able to, if I've been privileged to review Jackson's autopsy, is with which autopsy of Mohbad can be done, for example. You understand my point? So just to let you all understand that there are indeed opportunities, but what we just know, what you need to know, first of all, is that the more you know you don't know. I'll say that again. The more you know that you don't know. So if you keep limiting yourself to what you have learned already, you will not know that I don't know much. Basically, you know. So I'll proceed because of time and this network wahala. There is also opportunities in the private sector, huge one. For example, during COVID, startups came up. Startups came up wanting to partner, wanting to bring in innovations on artificial intelligence, on telemedicine, on telementoring, on e-medical apps. In such instances, they would need your services as a medical legal consultant to advise them appropriately on what they are doing and how it protects the users. So, for example, COVID brought about the need for people to explore more on telemedicine because people were scared to go to hospitals at some point in time. The only advice we were given was part of
Please, gentlemen, kindly bear with us. Like I said earlier, we are not in control of this network challenges sometime. So our facilitator has been logged off and on, back on by the service providers. So let us just bear with him. The last time he was logged out, we had Tari share her experience, and I've also read on the platform those who have expressed their opinion so far on the training we are having. So I'm going to just read 2 out of them. I think 2, yes. 1, Prince Charles says the Zoom meeting is quite brainstorming and unlocking unique potentials in medical laws and the opportunities that abound, despite appreciations. Okay, sorry, deepest appreciations to Prof. Olaolu, thank you. Margaret says this calls for, okay, this call has been a great eye-opener to the manifold opportunities in the med law field. I used to think litigation of medical practice, malpractice cases as the only area of practice under medical law practice. Thank you. If these 2 participants, if these 2 feedback I just read, if that is the only thing we achieved with this webinar, we would have, we will grade ourselves as having succeeded, because the essence of this training is mind change, to change your mind, to have you open your mind, to have you see things from different perspectives, to have you see medical law from different angles. I am particularly thrilled by Margaret's submission, because Margaret is my sister. And I remember sometime last year, we had a discussion and I said, come and look at this medical law. Come here. She said, no. She just gave reasons why it will not work. So reading her comments now, I believe she has repented. Margaret, I believe you have repented. So I am expecting to see you after the webinar so that we continue from where we stopped our discussion last time. Let me now know the actions you are willing to take along this practice area. So who else can share his or her experience? Just raise your hand while we wait for our facilitator to come back, please. Kindly bear with us. Okay, Sekbe Benjamin, well done, my brother. Good afternoon. Sekbe says, I want to appreciate this platform. It is really thought-provoking, and I want to thank you, Mr. Ebenezer, for this. I hope to be more engaging. Thank you very much, Benjamin. We would engage more. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay, so let's keep the reaction coming. If you want to speak, just raise your e-hand and you will be unmuted to speak. So while we wait for anybody to come on board, let me just more like emphasize on some of the things he has said. Our facilitator has said before now. For example, let me just emphasize on a few of the things he has said. For example, he has been a member of ethics committee and all that. Last year, September last year, I was brought in to be part of a team that looked at patient safety policy to be presented to the National Council on Health to be passed. No, not a law, to be passed as a policy within the executive and all the health parastatals for implementation. And when we were reviewing the policy, I happened to be the only lawyer there. In fact, how I got drafted in was we were on a different committee planning for the Federal Ministry of Health World Patient Safety Day. And while we were there, somebody said, Ebenezer, you are here. Are you on this other policy committee? I said, no, sir. He just gave instruction. He said, Mary, put Ebenezer on that committee. And that was it. Nobody asked who is Ebenezer because they somehow know my work. So I am corroborating what our facilitator has said. Firstly, there is less competition in this area of practice. Secondly, your work is needed. Your work is needed. Just yesterday, I got a call. There will be need to litigate because a hospital has mismanaged a registrar of a particular school and the person died. Tomorrow or within the week, I am waiting for them to come. We discuss and it starts. Now, it is unlike tenancy agreements. It is unlike contractual disagreements. Okay, Hannah, you will speak in the next 2 minutes, please. It is not like your land dispute litigation. It is not, they look for who can do this. When this, for those of you who follow the news, when one lady, Goodness, I think that's her name, was thrown out of a moving vehicle by this one chance criminals, and she was taken to a particular hospital in Abuja and she died. I had not heard the news, but someone called me and said, Ebenezer, there is this development. I am going to give them your number to call you. And that's how I came on board. But because we didn't agree on fees, they went their way, and the things turned out the way I had told them. This is what's going to be the outcome. Okay, our facilitator is back. I hope I am correct, yes. So please, we will keep apologizing over this network challenge, hoping that with time, it will stabilize. Sometimes I wonder how the people we are borrowing from, how they manage theirs. Okay, I thought our facilitator was back. Okay, I can't see him, but I know I admitted him. Hannah, you may speak, please. I know I admitted our facilitator, but I have not seen him on the call. So Hannah, you may make your contribution, please. Hannah, if you can hear me, kindly raise your hand again. Let me unmute you so that you speak. Awesome. Okay, you can speak now, Hannah. You can unmute. Okay, great.
All right. Am I audible, please?
Yes, you are.
All right. Good afternoon, my able chair. Good afternoon to our facilitator and everyone on this call. So my question is actually to the facilitator, but I don't know if you can hear me. So this is a very interesting area of practice from all he has said and from the list of opportunities available and where one can actually fit into. However, I'm a bit concerned because this seems to be like a very expensive area of practice, going by what he said, that to build capacity, you need to invest and not just investing little, you need to invest heavily. He has mentioned certain countries he traveled to, just to get an insight from those jurisdictions and then come back, to Nigeria to apply the knowledge. So my question now is for people who want to, go into this area of practice and you cannot seem to afford, building capacity in this regard. How do you start? Like, how can you leverage on the little opportunity you have to at least, make
Brilliant
something
question.
for yourself in this area of practice? Thank you.
Thank
Just
you
a
very much.
starting point, yes. How do one?
Okay, the facilitator is ready. Let me unmute him. I believe he got the question. I will also repeat that question in the course of the. I can't seem to see our facilitator. I am told he is ready, but I can't see him on the call to unmute him. Okay. Okay, okay. Thank you, sir. You may
It's been a
unmute
holiday
now, sir.
experience.
Thank
I'm
you.
about to change networks now. I hope I'll be able to just conclude quickly.
Okay, sir.
Please
Sorry
let me
about
be
that.
able to share. So maybe because of the network, I will not use my video. Just make me share so I can show you the last few slides I have, and then we can take questions. Because I know we have less than 30 minutes. Okay. I cannot share.
You can share your video now, sir. You can. You can share your video, sir. You can share your slides.
Yeah, so I will just rush through now. You can also have opportunities in the academia. You can be lecturing. Now, you can lecture at the faculties of law, College of Medicine, nursing schools of nursing, and National Postgraduate Medical College. The only challenge you will have lecturing outside the faculty of law is that it does not add up for you if you want to apply for silk, because they actually look at you lecturing at the faculty of law. So if, like I lecture at the College of Medicine, for example, all my lectures there doesn't in any way contribute towards my application for silk. You are also given the opportunities of delivering lectures internationally. This is University of Coimbra in Portugal, where I delivered a paper on Ebola patient migration. And I make bold to say that this lecture I gave here was beneficial to how WHO was able to create standards for COVID-19. Because Ebola that happened in Nigeria then was one of the largest pandemics that happened before COVID. So somehow they followed the pattern which we used in handling the Ebola issue, particularly by virtue of our, we call it triage in Nigeria, in medicine, we call it triage, ability to be able to use resources as scarce as they are. So we had to ration. And the COVID-19 also taught advanced countries the need to be able to ration supplies, you know. So generally, you can work for patients. Patient is public interest litigation. You can actually provide services as well. That as well happens a lot. We've done a lot of them. Most of the times, it doesn't pay well, but it might give you notoriety. But you must ensure, like I said, that you must pick your battles properly. I will conclude by looking at gray areas where there are no legislation so far. However, things are happening there and where lawyers' services are needed. Assisted reproductive technology, people are doing IVF, people are doing surrogacy, people are selling sperm or donating sperm and eggs and embryos. We do not have legislations in it, but I tell it for free. The assisted reproductive technology is a 25 billion naira industry annually in Nigeria. 25 billion naira. So imagine if you have a chunk of that as lawyers, that's a huge opportunity. Telemedicine, I talked about that earlier. Information technology and medical records. People are daily making applications. Electronic medical records, assisting doctors in recording patients' information adequately, faster, and online. But however, we have little or no legislations on that, but lawyers are needed there. Organ donations and transplantations, end-of-life issues. There's what we call the living will, where a patient can tell you that the next time I have a heart attack, please do not resuscitate me. Where a patient can tell you, I will not take blood and things like that. You must respect such wishes. Lawyers are needed there. Physician-assisted suicide and euthanasia. I said euthanasia is illegal in Nigeria. However, passive euthanasia, Supreme Court has allowed it, whereby a patient can refuse medical treatment, even if he or she knows that if refusal of such medical treatment will lead to his or her death. However, there's also what we call, what's it called again? Terminal sedation, whereby we know that this patient is in serious pain and the doctors will give him high level of morphine so that at least he can sleep and have a peaceful day. But the more morphine he gives him, the shorter his lifespan, but he has more quality of life, but for a shorter duration of time. Lawyers are needed in such respect. Coroner's inquest, we all read about the case of Mohbad and how they've done coroner's inquest and autopsies and things like that. And at times they have had reasons to exhume bodies, at times they have had reasons to remove organs and re-examine them. Forensics. Important. Blood fingerprinting, blood splatter. They have not started that yet. Lawyers are needed there. Telementoring. That is the senior brother of telemedicine. Telementoring is where the consultant is in Germany and is instructing a surgery in Guagalada. But then again, the argument there is that who is responsible for the treatment if something goes wrong? Is the doctor who is mentoring you in Germany licensed to practice medicine in Nigeria? Those are the thorny areas where we still call them gray areas. Clinical trials and experimentations. There are instances where, you know, there are ethical considerations involved in these instances. Lawyers are needed. Organizations are throwing up medications, are doing up experimentations, and then lawyers' roles are needed there to guide, to ensure that these people do not overrun the ethical guidelines required. So I would thank you for listening. I think I'll be able to take some questions, hoping that my internet doesn't frustrate me any further. So over to you, moderator.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. We are indeed very grateful. Please, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. Participants, please, can we appreciate our facilitator? These are kind of trainings that if you want to attend internationally, you pay in dollars. And sometimes they don't give you in-depth knowledge such as this. So when we were inviting him, I knew exactly what we were looking for. And he has not disappointed. Thank you very much, sir. Our facilitator, on behalf of our branch chairman, Bamidele Ojo Esquire, and the entire membership of the Medical and Health Law Committee, we want to deeply, deeply, deeply appreciate you for your time. Thank you, sir. Now we are going to take few questions. Prior to this time, Hannah Umaru had asked one, so we will give her opportunity to ask her question again. Then I will take 3 questions extra. I can see 2 hands are up, so we'll just take it in that order. Hannah goes first to repeat her question, then Benjamin Sekpe, then Fola Adebayo. So in that order, we will take the questions. Hannah, if you are still here, can you repeat your question? Just raise your hand. I will unmute you. Hannah Umaru, if you can hear me, kindly raise your hand. While we are waiting for her, Benjamin, you have the floor. I am unmuting you now to ask your question. Just very brief and straight to the point. Thank you. Benjamin, you can unmute. Hello, Mr. Benjamin. Benjamin, you can unmute. Okay, Gladys Chibuzo. Let's take Fola. If Benjamin cannot unmute, let's take Fola.
Hello,
Fola,
everyone. Yes.
You can go ahead with your question, please.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone.
Can you increase your voice a little? We can't hear you.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
More audible, sir.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone.
Hello, Mr. Adebayo.
Hello.
Yes,
I can go ahead. I can hear you.
Audible.
Okay. Yes. I'm thanking everyone for this time, and most especially the facilitator. But my question is, how
Sorry,
can
please,
we
participants, can you hear him? Let me know if it is a peculiar challenge from my end.
We can hear him.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you. My question is, having been told about how this could be a good kind of career path for us, how then can we increase, can we get capacity, most especially within Nigeria? And will it involve basically outside of Nigeria, or can we get capacity within Nigeria? Thank you.
Okay, let me take all the questions at once. So the next person, so I've written your questions down. I'll take all of them at once.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we should take all the questions together.
Yes, do. Let's do that, please.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Who else? Okay. Gladys, you may ask your question. Fola, please take down your hand since you have asked your question. Mr. Fola, kindly put down your hands. Gladys Chibuzo, you have the floor. You can ask your question now. Hello, Gladys. Can she hear me? Benjamin Sekpe, you can ask your question if you can hear me. You can unmute. I have asked you to unmute.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead, Gladys.
Yeah, okay. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Gladys from Port Harcourt branch, MBA Port Harcourt branch. Prof, may I
Sorry,
use
from
this
which
opportunity?
branch?
Port Harcourt, Port Harcourt.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Yeah. Please, Prof, I am so much very grateful for the lecture given. Let me use myself as an example. Yes, I'm a lawyer too, but I'm someone that is so passionate over health issues. Yeah, I work on the issue of public health approach of drug users as against criminal justice. And besides that, I'm presently a master's degree student in Uniport on social work, where my interest is much on mental health rights. But this medical law is also a passion I have also, because I want to technically veer much into medical approaches on issues. But what I'm asking here now is, please, in order to marry it to already my vocation, how will I be able to get a training, online training, international training on certified international training on the medical law? And also, I also want to appreciate the MBA branch for this awesome training that is coming up to enhance our capacity. But if it could be possible to have MBA as in creating a body that should be medical legal body of the MBA, you understand, which will enhance training of members to be certified on that note. Thank you.
Hey, can you hear me, sir?
Right.
Yeah.
What is network doing now?
Okay. Can I speak now? Good afternoon. Okay. I'm not.
On the chat box and you read it out. Maybe you can type your question to save time, Mr. Benjamin. Kindly type your question on the chat box because it appears there's a network. So type your question on the chat box. You can hear me. Let me repeat the question that
Yes, I have the second question. Can I get the last question?
The last question, we didn't hear you, sir. So I have requested you to type the question on the chat box. Hello, sir.
Okay, anyway, while waiting, because of the internet, let me just advise you. The first and second questions are quite similar. How do you develop capacity? We have set up, please come and join the Section of Legal Practice Committee on Medicine and the Law. I am the current chairperson. We'll be having monthly trainings on medical laws. So what you do for me is that tell the coordinator of this program, when you go online, go to the MBA platform, register online. Those who have registered, if there are a sizable number of them, we can have one training a month for them. That means we have seen people who are interested, because it will not be nice for one to plan online training for 5 people. So if we have a sizable number of persons who are interested, please get back to me, but go to the NBA website, Section of Legal Practice, and join Medicine Committee on Medicine and the Law. I am the current chairperson there. Once we find more than 10 people interested, we will have monthly trainings for them. I can't hear you, but I believe that we are.
Okay. Can you hear me now, sir? Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Awesome. Okay, I said that your answer also covered one question that was asked when the network logged you out. Umaru Hannah had asked how she would be able to build capacity. So for purpose of reiteration, dear participants, you heard him. Those of you who are interested in building your capacity in medical law practice, the section on law practice, on legal practice of the MBA has a medical law committee, the Committee of Medicine and Law, Medicine and the Law. Our facilitator happens to be the current chairman of that committee, and he has graciously offered us a training opportunity, subject to the condition that we have minimum of 10 persons who have indicated interest. What I am going to do now, for purpose of ease of coordination, I am going to drop my WhatsApp number here. Anybody who is interested, send me a message on WhatsApp and just say medical law training. That's all. No long grammar. Once you type, send me a message, medical law training, just your name, your branch, medical law training. So I will know you are coming from this platform. Then I will aggregate us firstly, and everybody. The implication of this is that you are going to be a member of the section on legal practice, the SLP section. We have SPDL, we have SBL, and we have SLP. So you must be a member of SLP. And while you are registering on the SLP platform on MBA websites, you click, there are opportunities to belong to committees. So you register as a member of the Medical and Health Law Committee of the SLP. Thank you very much. Let me see if Mr. Benjamin Shekme dropped his question here. Says, thank you very much for this opportunity. My question is, what measure can we put in place to have this area of law developed into law faculties or the law school curriculum, and also have this area of law studied at master's level? Before our facilitator comments, Benjamin, I want to tell you that there are universities who are already doing offering these courses both at master's and LLB level. It will shock you to know, as far back as 2007, I did medical law as a course in my undergraduate days, and that's actually where my journey started. I was taught medical law as a course in the university. I am aware that University of Abuja is doing medical law at master's level and PhD level. I am aware of that because I have friends who are running their masters and doing their PhD in medical law. I'm also aware that other universities are doing medical law. For that of bringing it to law school curriculum and universities covered, but law school, I do not know. So maybe our facilitator will help us in that area, sir. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, there are some institutions that provide medical law courses.
Someone just posted that University of Jos does it at master's level.
Akobatu does, University of Lagos does. Yeah, okay. So there are a couple. But law school, I don't think law school is where you teach medical law.
No, not at all.
Yeah, law school should be for practice, you know. So I don't think medical law will suffice in law school.
Let me also cover that area. I have a participant here, Joel Duku. Mr. Joel, you can share your experience in the training you had with us, because we also have an Institute of Medical and Health Law, and just last June, we had a training for law, for the current students of Nigerian Law School. We had a training for them so that they can join the institute. So we had 4 courses in medical law for them. We trained them 1st and 8th of June, respectively, and they have also written their exams. So that's how we integrate law school students into the medical law area of practice. So one of them is here, Mr. Joel Duku. I have spotted him repeatedly. Don't know if he's still on call, but he was here. And in case there is any other person who participated in that training, you can indicate by raise of hand. So the field is covered. 1, but more importantly, if we have everybody here, for now I can see 41 participants on this call, minus those who are on YouTube. So if we have everybody who have participated here, who have participated in today's training, we have you indicate interest in active medical law practice. I chose my word carefully, active medical law practice, starting with capacity building. Give yourself the next 2 years. You will be amazed at what you will do in medical law. Firstly, having built your capacity, and gradually the briefs begin to trickle in. Thank you very much. Okay, my number is on the platform, 08055129393. My name is Ebenezer Ebuatu. I am the current chairman of the Medical and Health Law Committee, MBA Gariki branch. So just send a WhatsApp message to this number, your name, your branch, interested in medical law practice. Thank you very much. I think on this note, it will be good to say goodbye. Let us start by appreciating our facilitator. Thank you, Mr. Laolu. It will interest participants to know that this webinar did not come by just, okay, Mr. Laolu, come and talk to us, and he came. No, he is extremely busy. It took me from March till last week to get this date. That is how busy he is. Not that he's lying down on his bed sleeping. Each time I call, he say, Benisa, let me check my diary. And we check and we look at the dates until we got to today's date. So I do not want you to trivialize the time he has shared with us. I will also reach out to ensure that the materials are shared. We already have your data via WhatsApp or via your Zoom registration. So your emails are contained there. We will send you the materials as soon as we get hold of them. So on behalf of the committee, I want to firstly thank our branch chairman and his team of ESCO and the person of Bamidele Ojo Anthony. I also want to thank my ever-ready committee members. 3 of them are here. Damilola Alabi is here. Thank you, Dami. I saw Shekzi Zinkfa is here. I am aware that Olatunji is on the YouTube platform. Hannah, thank you very much. And every other person who has contributed one way or the other. I want to specially thank all the participants, particularly those of you who are not of Garki branch. Prior to this time, this webinar, we only limit it to our branch members, but we felt it was time to open up the knowledge sharing opportunity to the entire legal community in Nigeria. So expect us sometime in June and August. I don't know how the facilitator hacked into my mind, because just about 2 days ago, I was muting to myself that our next topic will be on euthanasia and patients' rights. So we will be discussing that, and God's willing, we will be having a professor, the first professor of euthanasia in Africa, talk to us on that subject. I will open up discussion with him on that, and if we secure a date, we will publicize it. Thank you very much. Thank you. Goodbye. God bless you. Okay, someone says the number again. 080-5512-9393. I'm sharing it again. Ebenezer Iguatu is my name. Chairman, Medical and Health Law Committee, MBA Garki branch. Health Law Committee, MBA Garki branch. So the number is there. Can anyone hear me? Hello? Okay, so I've shared the number. I don't know why it is not dropping. Just copy it. 080-5512-9393. Ebenezer Iguatu. Okay, he's sending to somebody, not everyone. Sorry, please. Ebenezer Iguatu. Okay, that's my number. Send your expression of interest to this number via WhatsApp. WhatsApp, not call, just WhatsApp. Thank you. So at the count of 5, I'll be shutting down the platform. Okay, my email address. Okay. Let me, niza.lapi@gmail.com. Okay, 080-5512-9393. My email is there, niza.lapi@gmail.com. So you can reach me either through the phone number, WhatsApp messages only, or the email address. Thank you very much. So at the count of 5, we'll be shutting down the platform. 3, 2, 1, 4, and 5. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you, Prince Charles. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I am grateful. Thank you, sir. Prince Charles, wow. I hope you do not get arrested when you enter England. What a coincidence. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay, goodbye, everyone. Kenechukwu Aja, thank you. Bakari, thank you. Chisomwano, my sister Margaret. Festus Ukpe, thank you. Anthony Okadi Ekpete. Samuel Emmanuel, my good brother Benjamin Sekpe. Olamide Giwa, thank you. Eunice. Oluwa Damilare, thank you. Eunice. Hajara Shehu, thank you. Doshima. June 1, thank you. Catherine James, thank you. Oh, people are still entering the waiting room. Okay, unfortunately, let me get them in and notify them. Amarachi is coming late. Eric Ibe is coming late. Okay. Chief Eric, welcome. Amarachi, welcome. Unfortunately, we are done with the webinar, and we are just shared our vote of thanks and our goodbye messages. However, we'll be coming to you again in August to discuss another interesting topic. Every month, you will have one webinar from the committee. Thank you very much and goodbye. I have a message here.